Yay!
Biggest question that of a piece of advice that people wrote in is, how do you hold a friendship when the other person is moving far away or is far away and like lives in another state after being in the same state and like college when you're together 24/7?
Yeah.
That's the biggest piece of advice that I think we need to give to like everybody too, because I think we've all got those friends that moved away, or like someone's going to grad school. Yeah. Somebody maybe moved out into the suburbs and is living their life at a totally different time than you. Yep. How do you stay close?
Yeah, I think that is like a great question. First of all,
good question.
Good
Whoever wrote
question.
that in. No.
Good times. I think the biggest thing is you have to learn how to communicate. One, if you can't communicate with the person, let them know when you're like upset that you guys aren't talking, things like that. And Syd and I have very different, this sounds so weird because it kind of gets into relationships too. Say? We have really big love, like we have different love languages.
Oh yeah, no.
Or like the way that we like want to receive and like obtain, is that the right word to say?
Yeah.
Obtain love is very, very different in relationships, but like that also like coexists in your friendships too. Like you are
What are you gonna say? What are you saying?
Sorry, I'm just thinking things without actually speaking. You just like, you're not very like touchy feely. You also are the type of person like you need like space a lot of time. Like you need to like recuperate. Is that a word?
Yeah. Recuperate.
Is that really a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally a word.
Recuperate. You need to I'll say it again. You need to recuperate.
Thank you for repeating.
Yep. And like you need to have your own alone time away from your friends, away from everybody else, just to like, you are so go that you need your time just to like sit and process and be alone.
Yeah.
And so I live in New York, obviously, as you said earlier. So sometimes I think at the beginning when I first moved out there, had a hard time being like, why isn't Syd talking to me? Like, are we drifting apart? Are we not friends? Like, what's going on? Dramatic.
Our anxiety, can you tell?
I'm like, what's going on?
God.
Like, does she not like me? Did I do something?
Yeah.
Like, just constant. And so I think I had to actually like, I remember we probably got in like a little tiff about it because I was like, why don't you like me? Yeah. Like, what's going on?
And at the time, I was just trying to transition. Like, we're all in COVID, which you were in COVID in the city, which was extremely hard. You know, we're just getting out of college. I'm in a new job. I'm not quite sure what I'm really doing. You know what I mean? I'm living at home at the time too. And like, I'm just kind of sad, you know what I mean? And I don't have enough capacity to be with my parents again and my sister all the time and work, work my job and be cooped up inside like we all were, you know, and I'm not saying it's a pity party at all, but I couldn't reset.
Party,
poor me, I shared a bed with my sister. Oh yeah, that's right. You heard it here.
She did.
Freaking something.
That's so fun for you.
Girl kicks at night. Okay. But no, I couldn't reset. I couldn't find time to reset ever. Like, and it kind of took out on my relationships because I would just go MIA. Like, if you know me and you're close to me, you know I just go MIA, don't text people back for like 4 days. It happens. But what Emma needs for her love language is constant attention. No, I'm just kidding. But
constant
like
love, affection, everything you could imagine.
Words of affirmation, telling you that you're one of my best friends, and like, you know, friends need these things. That's completely fair because it's a relationship you're putting so much effort into. Like, why would you not give it all that? So we had to have those tough conversations, and I had to be like, I need you to take a step back because I'm freaking out. Because I'm so overwhelmed in all the other things that I have going on. And Emma was like, excuse me, you also need to like make an effort and like not go just missing and tell me because I'm your best friend. If you're struggling.
I think that was we did have a really long talk about that too, because I remember you'd be like, it was a really serious conversation. And as you can probably tell, Syd and I are very like joking and, you know, go with the flow.
Serious when we need to be, but
serious when we need to be. But it was hard. It was a hard conversation to be like, hey, I like feel like you're not giving me enough attention, which is so weird to say to a friend. It's so weird to be like, why aren't you paying any attention to me? And so I had to be like, I feel like I don't know what's going on, or I don't know like what you're doing. And that's
you
something
didn't know what was going on in my life. Basically.
And I felt I think for me too, going off of that, and like no one prepares you for the year after college. Like you go from, you know, being with your friends all the time and you're living next to people and you're so close and it feels like you're so interconnected, to the year after college is a really different time that I don't think anyone can prepare you for.
It's hard.
And it's really hard on a lot of people. And it's hard on people that stay here. It's hard. It was super hard on me moving away. I was super homesick. And
you should talk to that for a second.
Yeah. It was, so when I moved away, I felt like I didn't think I was going to be homesick. I really wanted to live in New York. That was like my goal all of college. I wanted to, you know, go out there, thrive, be like socialite craziness girl. That was the goal. Like socialite. I wanted to be like Upper East Side. What's good? But
oh my God,
little did I know, I moved out there. As Syd said, we had the same internship, just in different states.
Different cities, yeah.
And I moved out there. I actually lived in a 1-bedroom apartment with bunk beds with 2 of my friends.
3 people in a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
No joke.
So there was a bunk bed on one side and then a single bed. And the people I moved out there with, I wasn't super close with in college, actually. They just went to the University of Minnesota. So I was going out there kind of just like, all right, let's do this.
Here we go.
Super freaked out, but I guess we'll like roll with it. And it was really hard. I felt like they were my friends, yes, but like we weren't really close at the time. Now, of course, they're some of my best friends.
Besties,
yes. Yeah. But at the time, I was super like, I felt isolated. I felt alone. I didn't like my job. It's really, really hard. And I don't think anyone can prepare you for moving away and going through something like that. And you also feel really far away from the people closest to you. Yep. So I felt far away from, obviously, family. I'm from Minnesota. Yep. But then I felt far away from you, and I felt far away from other friends from here. And it's hard to see your friends doing things here. And also people think that your life looks so glamorous and so cool on social media, and you're portraying that, obviously, as everyone does. But like I was really, really sad. And that was a really like low point, I would say, in my life.
It's huge of you to admit that too, though. Just like being like, yeah, it wasn't great. And I mean, but it turned out to be great, obviously. But
I love it there now.
No, yeah, but it's not easy at first, you know, and you're away from your people and you're away from the community you literally just built. And honestly, once you leave campus, that's how it is.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
I was at home living back in Victoria where I grew up, you know, and I mean, it's not easy. And I felt like I was losing out on opportunities, and I'm young, like I should be moving away, when I had a really good job, right, that plopped in my lap, you know. And I was like, you know, Emma's working in creative things still, and I'm not anymore, and like that's hard for me to swallow. She's away and I'm here, like she's living her life on the weekends and I'm not. Like that's hard. On the flip side, like being like, shit, like now what do I do? But I would say to maintain those relationships, understanding how that person gives and receives love. It's important.
Huge. It's like a big conversation to have, I think. Yeah. Like just things like even little things that you just need from each other. Like they could be so minuscule, but like things like that are so important.
Cheer your other person on. Like what active listening is the second thing that I was going to say is actually listening to what they're saying and taking in and understanding them as a person. Like 100%. What are they doing at work? Yeah. Where do they work? Like what's like actually be curious about your friend, because how would you feel if your best friend wasn't curious in what you're working on or what you're doing?
Yeah. Even just like reaching out, being like, I know you had a big project today. How'd it go? Like those little things can mean so much to somebody, even when you're having those bad days and you're like going through hard times. When your friends remember little things about you that are going on, it can make like such a world of a difference.
Huge difference. Yeah.